Welcome to All Things Mental,
a podcast that honors the messy, beautiful, nonlinear journey of healing. Because healing isn't about fixing what's broken.
It's about discovering what you need in this moment and learning to trust yourself along the way.
Here, we share stories, resources, and reminders that you're never alone on your path.
So take a breath, lean in, and remember,
you are not broken.
You're just becoming a more beautiful version of your higher self. We're your co-hosts, Michele
and Liana,
here to remind you that
you're never alone
on your healing journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to All Things Mental. Today's episode is going to be focusing on all things reset, which we're really excited about, but we're also really excited about something else. Liana, would you like to share?
Yes. Oh my gosh. So today, in real time, as we record this, we are a couple of months ahead of real-time podcast launch. But today, January 7th, 2026, is when our podcast officially went live to the world on Spotify and YouTube. So wherever you're finding us right now, welcome. Hi.
February.
Yes. So we are in the past, but I mean, our content is everlasting. So this is just so special to us. And we're just so excited to really welcome in a new year with a new project. And this has been called our project for
a while now. Like, I discussed when it was gonna go live, and I remember saying to you, like, I don't know, maybe like November or December, and then you had like the brilliant idea, Michele, what if we launch it in January? I'm like, I love it. Yes, let's do it.
Yeah, I have this like January theory where like if you love something in January, you'll love it all year round.
Aww.
And yeah, and it's because I found proof in this when I went to my college tour, when I found my campus that I was going to go to, Marist in New York. I loved it in January with snow on the ground and that icy, when it's like snow and there's like the clouds are also white and it's just like a white landscape all around. Like that was how I saw the campus. And then I saw the Hudson River where the campus is located. And
that's cool.
It was really special. So really incredible experience. That was Martin Luther King weekend as well, which a year later to that day, me and my now husband would become together. And then years later, we got engaged and married on that day. So it's just like January is very special to me in that way.
January is special to me too. It's one of my favorite months because it just feels so magical. But like society like tells us to like, speed up because new year, new you. But like my take on it over the years, even like, I don't know, like I think this started just a couple of years ago, but like I've had the realization that you need to slow down. Like I saw this reel on Instagram about this girl reminding us all that we're mammals and it's okay if we still feel like we're in hibernation in winter because our bodies are on cycles of nature, not on cycles of society. And that just really like, I was like, yeah, facts. That resonated with me so much. So this reset episode is essentially us sharing what we do to reset and get ready for the new year. And this podcast episode is actually going to be premiering where this coming Friday, when it premieres, will be the spring equinox. So we thought it would be a beautiful time to like kind of share what we do at the end of the year. Because I mean, if you haven't done it yet or have never heard of this practice, you could maybe apply it and try it yourself. This goes back to spirituality. I don't recall which episode that was. I believe it was episode 4, but that's essentially what we're going to be talking about today. And I'm excited.
Yay. Amazing. So yeah, I usually do like my end of the year ritual. It's been a couple of years now where I've picked a word of the year because I don't like to set New Year's resolutions or like insane goals or anything like that because as many of us know or maybe don't know, goals set in the new year fall very flat, very fast, and they don't last because we're not designed to change overnight. We have to build
Exactly.
habits, and we have to have intentions. Intentions are manifestations that then you get to see come to life. Like, I made this incredible vision board for 2025, and I still, like, I made it with such intention because I did a really special journaling exercise from Mary. It was her Feeling Lost guide. I don't know if she still has it out, but if we can find the link, then we can share it.
Of course, yeah. Especially how I found out about the word of the year. She did a podcast episode on it, and that's when I hadn't even done resolutions for years. I'm like, I don't know, whatever. It's just a new year, like, because I was early on in my healing journey. And then she shared, I do a word of the year, and she like shared like the steps and the process that she does, and I was like, this is brilliant.
Yeah, because living through that intention, you can come back to that at any time. If you ever find yourself straying away from the person that you want to be, and then you come back and go, okay, this is the mindset that I want to embody. This is the lifestyle that I want to embody. And that's how you bring manifestations in. Like, I used to have a very complicated relationship with manifestation because I didn't really understand that, oh, if I just imagine myself in this life that I'll be a certain way, then I will make that come true. And when it wouldn't, like, because I have personal stories of just trying to do something and then ultimately falling short, and not like a failure in a sense, but just in a way of like, this didn't manifest the way I thought it would. Like, I tried to do the visualization. It's more about, at least for me, what I understand about manifestation is that you're calling in the energy of what you want to embody, and then you embody that, and it comes true in its own unique way. Like, for many years, in the recent couple of years, I have been manifesting something, and I put that on my vision board, and I put like the intentions that I wanted in visual pictures, like digital images on Canva that I made. And then I just made all of that come true over time. Like, I'm sure by the time this airs and by the spring equinox, like, I'll see even more things come true. And it's just a matter of like, this is how I want to live, not
Yes.
necessarily how I want something to happen, because the universe gives you what you want in divine time, and nothing, you can't really mess up a manifest. Like, I asked one of my friends who's a manifestation coach, I asked her, like, what if I mess up a manifest? And she's like, you can't mess up a manifest. Like, everything is always leading you to the right path. And I find that to be so true about life, about work, about family, about social
Oh,
engagements. Like,
absolutely.
it's just all so beautiful and amazing. So yeah, I'd love to hear more about your practices and everything, Michele.
Oh, yeah, no, of course. But I just wanted to say really quickly, I love the way you described or defined manifestation. It's like an energy that you think of in your mind and you put out there. Because something that I find so mind blowing is like, anything that exists in this world was once an idea inside somebody's head. And that's just so crazy to think about. Like, I used to do boards, like vision boards and stuff like that. And in one of the group chats that I have with a whole bunch of different girls from this workout program that I did, one of them shared their vision board, and it kind of inspired other people in the group chat to do a vision board and share it. And I'm inspired to do it as well. And I haven't done it yet. Old me would be freaking out like, it's January 7th. Why haven't you done it yet? And here I am, like, I just need to find some magazines, because I don't get magazines, because I want to do it that way, because that just seems so much fun. And this year, something that I'm focusing on is being more present, even with myself, and reading more, whether it be an audiobook or a physical copy of the book. But as far as like my practice and what I do for my end of the year, like, it kind of like came to be last year. I kind of like re-listened either this year or the year before that to Mary's episode on word of the year. And I kind of like took notes, but then I like made it my own. And the first thing that I do is essentially like reflect on the year that I'm in. I usually do this practice on December 30th or December 31st, because I felt led to doing it during that time. But like but like now I know that, because I had this realization after I did all of that, like I could have done it in January or in February or in March, because it's all a matter of like doing it when it feels right to you. And spring is when like everything's coming back to life and all of that. And some cultures do see spring as like the start of the year, not even some cultures, some religions. And
Yeah.
so I start by like reflecting on the year, and 2025 for me was rough. It had its ups, it had its downs. And my word last year was triumphant. And the universe has a sense of humor because, triumphant means overcoming something. And it's a synonym for joy. And that was originally why I picked it. And then the universe was like, all right, triumph. I got you, and like threw so many things my way, but I overcame it. And I think the year before that, my word was vibranium. And for those of you who are like fans of Marvel or have seen any of the Marvel movies, it's a fake metal that cannot be broken. And I kind of made it as my word of the year, is like, no matter what happens this year, I'm not going to let it bring me down, which kind of like shows where I was at in my healing journey. I'm very private about my word of the year during the year that it occurs in. I tell very few people, but like I figure it out through my process. So the first thing I do, I literally have my journal here in front of me so I can reference it, is I journal about the year. And something that I did that was inspired by one of my self-development books was top 10 moments I have been fully present. And it was just like in general, I did that. And I really kind of liked that idea. And then I just kind of like reflected. And then I used to do like my celebrations for the year, but I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on, okay, what's a celebration? And now I'm at the point in my healing journey where I do glimmers. I'm now actually journaling about them and not just thinking about them. So my therapist will be very proud. So I do grateful list, like what I was grateful for. And one of the things I was really grateful for last year was, even though it's a rough year, I became very good friends with a coworker of mine who we have lunch basically every day together because we're on the same team at our job. And it's just so beautiful. And I told her that, and she goes, "You're grateful for me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, girl, I love you." And she's like, "That's so sweet." And yeah, and then I essentially go into what my goals for the year are, like my daily goals, and then what my overall goals will be to reach those goals. Like I kind of come up with like things that are goals for the year, but really what they are is it's things that are already a habit, and I add like one or two things. And then through all of that, I come up with my word of the year.
Beautiful.
Process.
Oh, I love that so much. I can't wait to do that myself, because this year in particular, like I was saying earlier, is just how I felt really called to just kind of keep like my vision board. I worked so hard on it last year that I was like, maybe I'll just spend some time in the first weekend after, the Monday, the 5th, and going into this weekend. Like I feel like January started on the 5th because,
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's what everybody feels like. And like, okay, well, I mean, I know New Year's Eve was a Wednesday, which means that Thursday was the first day of the year. But it's like, no. Like, I didn't go back to work till the 5th. So that's really when January started.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how I feel. So I'm like, you know what? I'll spend, because I was going to go to a vision board workshop this past weekend, and I didn't go because I made the choice. I came from a full moon New Year intention affirmation setting workshop with like a sound bath and Reiki.
Oh,
Like,
that sounds amazing. I want to do a sound bath so badly. My friend that lives in England is always going on and on and on about, I'm going to a sound bath today. I'll be really grateful for that. I'm like, I want to do it. That sounds so nice. Like, they have sound baths on YouTube, but based on what my friend has described, it's not the same as doing one in person.
yes, I've only ever done them in person. And I've done many. I lost count honestly at this point. But they like walk around with the different instruments, and then they like go and like you're laying on your yoga mat or whatever, you're comfortable, and then they just come around and they have these like chimes or these
We
drums or like
just
a
describing
rain stick. Yeah.
you just describing it relaxes me. Like that sounds so nice.
It
Like
really is.
like something I've gotten back into the habit of doing is spending time with the universe in the morning. I've talked about this book before on the podcast, but it's called Dear Universe by Sarah Prout. And how it's set up is basically there's 100 not so great emotions and there's 100 positive emotions. So you pick a negative emotion that you're feeling, you read the little bit, you do the meditation at the bottom, then it gives 3 positive emotions that you could do. So like I've kind of like tweaked it, and I know that Sarah Prout wouldn't mind that because she says all the time your practice is your own. So if I wake up in the morning and I'm not feeling a negative emotion, I don't sit there and force myself to. I used to. Now I'm like, okay, let me look at the positive emotions. And this morning I was feeling really grateful, so I read the grateful one. And that was just really helpful and really beautiful. So I've been incorporating that back into my daily spiritual practice. And you had mentioned going to the moon, the full moon ritual ceremony, whatever it was that you called it, I don't recall, with your friend. And that's awesome. This past full moon, I didn't get a chance to do what I usually do, which is like charge my crystals and have my husband do a reading. But something that I did instead was I think I did this on the 31st, I want to say. I did my word of the year and all that 30th and December 31st of 2025. I reset my altar, which I sent you pictures of, I think.
Yes, I remember.
And so like my altar used to be like this little table that I got from my mom's best friend, who's basically an aunt to me. And it went from that to me buying a 5-shelf bookshelf from Amazon, and it's changed since I first set it up. And my friend that I do my grateful list with suggested take a picture every time you change something. Even if you change one thing, you're like, I want this on this shelf. Take a picture of it. Because like every time I do that, I set it with intention. So like I took everything off, I cleaned off the dust because things happen, and dust is everywhere. And then I put everything back on it. And then while I was doing that, one of the books fell over and 2 of the candles fell and one of them shattered, and I like freaked out, and my husband was in the bed sleeping and he like just jumped up right away. Are you okay? And like my inner child kind of had a freak out moment, like, oh my God, what's going to happen? How is he going to react to this? Like I consciously know that he would never yell at me, but like I had a moment, and then I also had a moment of gratitude, like this is the man that I chose to spend the rest of my life with. And so to get to the point of why I'm sharing this, I didn't really do the full moon this time around, but like the way I look at it is you can do the intention setting and the releasing, which intention setting I believe is with the new moon, and full moon is releasing stuff. But I really had already done that on December 30th and December 31st. I still want to charge my crystals, but there are other ways besides the moon. And I still want my husband to do a reading for me. He usually does a reading for me every full moon, because I haven't gotten like good at read those like card readings yet. I'd like to. I have a friend who actually has a business and does them, but like I haven't really dove into that as much in my practice.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's fluid, right? Like, yeah, the moon happens, but then it comes around again, and then in 2 weeks we have a new moon. Like it's okay.
That's what I see. But like last year, like this time last year, I put so much pressure on it. Like I bought like a moon journal, and I was like, I'm going to look up the meaning. I'm going to look at the name of the moon, and then I'm going to journal about why it was named that without looking it up. Like I'm going to journal what I think it was. Then I'm going to look up why it's actually named that and see if it aligns and all of that. Like I put too much pressure on it. So now this year I'm just like, you know what? it is what it is, which has been like my motto for like years now, and not in like a negative way, just like, acceptance and peace. And that's what happens when you go on a healing journey.
Yes. That's so, so powerful and true because I know that once I've developed acceptance for like the people in my life, the situations that have happened, like the anxieties that would come, that would rise to the surface, would then fade away because there's just this beautiful understanding that we are enough just as we are. We are worthy of this life simply by being in it. And we are so, so loved just because we exist. Like, literally. And all of that is really what life is all about. And it's what makes us so just proud to be living this life worth living, as
Yeah.
we love to say.
Okay, so I told you I would let you know when I get teary-eyed on the podcast. Episode 11. Like, I got teary-eyed. That was so beautifully said. Like, there's so many times, like, me and my friend have kind of like dug deeper in our grateful practice. And um like the other day they mentioned about something that they like noticed about their growth, and I'm starting to kind of see the same thing. And something happened to me today that only would have been freaking out, and I wouldn't have been able to think about anything else. But I was like, you know what, I will take care of that later. It's not that big of a deal. And I was able to take care of it in the moment, like right then and there. But like if I hadn't had a chance to, I would have been able to still be present, which is like my focus this year.
Beautiful. I love that. I keep saying beautiful this whole episode because it's just so special. Like to think about all the ways that we can reset our energy, our feng shui, our life, like not in a way where we want to forget the past, but
Oh
because we
yeah,
want to
absolutely.
honor the past and move towards the future because that's we
Honor
only have the
the past
present.
and move towards the future. I love that. And a lot of people say that like the best way to do that is to be present, be in the moment.
Wow. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes so much sense because yeah, we like me and my husband cleaned our entire apartment over the course of the weekend, the official first weekend of the new year, ahead of some friends coming over that Sunday evening or at late afternoon into the evening. And, we now have such a beautiful clean home for the next few weeks until it needs
Yeah.
another reset.
Something that we need to get into the habit of doing, me and my husband, is we need to like, we used to be really good about doing like a weekly reset where like we reset the house. But this is back when we had our roommate living with us. So it was 3 people. So like it was less, so like we're falling behind, but at the same time, like we're really both good at being intentional of making sure that the laundry's done and the dishes are not, piling up in the sink. And I'm grateful enough, and I'm so glad that my partner and I, like, we divide and conquer. Like it's not like, oh well, you do the laundry and you do the dishes because you are a woman. I will take care of the lawn. Like I even help him with that. And something that weirdly healed me on my healing journey was when he allowed me to mow the lawn and didn't get annoyed with me with how I did it. Because when I was a kid, I was helping my dad with the lawn and I did something silly, and he told me, "Oh, you're a girl, I get it. You can't really do this. Go back inside." And that kind of like really like hurt me, but like I didn't realize how much till my husband let me mow the lawn, and I realized, oh, I needed this and I didn't realize I needed this.
Wow, good. That's like so healing to your inner child, isn't it? To just go back in time and hug your inner child and be like, it's okay. Like in the present moment now, it's
I do
different.
that all the time. Like I'll close my eyes and I'll like picture it. And something you had mentioned early on in the episode about like, how like uh New Year's resolutions don't really work. You like set one and then after 2 or 3 weeks you're like, I'm gonna give up. But like I mean, we've talked about this before, and I know I'll always mention it. Like, one of the things that I'm focusing on this year is really making sure I do one hypnosis a day during the day. And then I try to fall asleep to one every single night. And it's kind of crazy what happens when you get your subconscious on board. Because, like, it's crazy. Like, we talked about this in the episode with my hypnotherapist, Chelsea, and how, like, over, I don't remember the percentage, so I'm just going to say I know that's over like 70%, 80% of your brain is your subconscious. It's not your conscious mind, it's your subconscious mind. And you can reprogram that, and not a lot of people know that.
Wow. Yeah.
I mean,
have,
our viewers do because that was a couple episodes ago, but still.
yes. Yes, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I love that. I've been seeing her post about like new, like starting in the new year to do like more subconscious work. And I was like, interesting. Like, I have yet to really try hypnosis myself. I did get certified in clinical hypnotherapy in part of my master certifications through my coaching stuff. But I haven't put that into practice on myself or anybody really since the actual certification. But that's okay because it
I
healed
mean,
me
all
for
your
the time.
it's fine.
uh, um,
If you ever wanted to try it.
oh, okay. Awesome. But yeah, I know, like, I used to have, in terms of like honoring the past, like, luckily I have also, like, you know, we bond over this and many of our episodes at this point, and all of them to come, I'm sure, about our supportive, loving husbands who unconditionally love us. And like, when I launched my business and had this amazing aspiration, really, to make it into something that I would do full time, that I would do this, that, and and then ultimately to realize at the end of 2025 that I don't want to put that pressure on myself anymore. Like,
Yeah.
I'm honoring the past of the years from prior, that when I had an LLC, to like then ultimately having it dissolve on December 31st at 11:59 p.m. because you can set the time. Because I just, like, I didn't want to put pressure on myself anymore to make it something and to have to pay the taxes and the, all the things on it still. And I was just like, you know what, it's okay. Like, I'm going into 2026, and I know by the time this episode airs, like, we'll be deep into, like, almost 1/4 of the way through the year. And
Yeah.
it'll be like really powerful to just acknowledge that, like, I also took a step back from social media. Like, I deactivated all my profiles, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and I still have Facebook Messenger. I still have WhatsApp. I still have like other related messaging sites and things. But
Yeah.
like, I set the intention of resetting my life, of being like, I don't want the distraction for me personally. This is not to say that anyone on, so because we still have our social media for this podcast. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Because I remember when you were telling me about it, I was like, oh, that's why we're now following a whole bunch of other like random, which I
yeah,
was perfectly fine with. But
yeah.
like, I was like, did I sleep follow people on the wrong account? Like, that's
No.
genuinely what I thought. But I'm fine with it too, because I've told you this before. I'm at a point where I need to go on Instagram or TikTok, whatever, with intention. And most of the time, it's to post for this. I don't like mindlessly scrolling. And I'm trying the whole idea of, when I want to mindlessly scroll, reading a book, or when I'm mindlessly scrolling, putting on an episode of, right now I'm binge watching Vampire Diaries again. And so, like, I'm putting that on, or I'm doing Lego, or I'm texting a friend and seeing how they are. Like, I'm filling it with a situation or an activity where I can be present. But for me, talking about the past, this year is huge for me because I talked about this in the first episode, and I think I talked about the other thing that occurred to me in a situationship in another episode. But this year is 10 years since I left that situationship, and that's huge for me. And I'm so grateful to be here. And just like reflecting back on it, like I literally went through my Instagram and like did a whole bunch of saves with the intention of sharing them eventually, like to my story and being like, this was this. And it's not really even for anybody else. Like some people post for other people. I'm at the point where I've gone through my Instagram and have removed people that I don't know personally or that I don't engage, interact with. And I'm now kind of like using my like Instagram as like my Facebook, but like I post for me. I don't really post for other people. I will admit when I was younger I did that, but I don't post to get likes. I used to try to do that, but now I'm at the point where I don't want that. I want to just be authentic, both online and on this podcast, and then obviously like, you know, in my every day-to-day life.
Yeah. That's so special. And I completely agree. Like I have a much more mature look on life now that I've taken a step back from my own personal accounts. They're deactivated, doesn't mean they're deleted. Like I can go back to them at any point if I want. But as of right now, it's been a week, I think, or over a week, and I haven't missed it. Because I still get my scroll fix when I go on to my not my burner TikTok, but like my anonymous TikTok account. Because I have just a profile where it's just, you know, a name that's not associated with me. It's not a picture of me or anything. I don't put pictures of me or videos of me. It's private anyway, but you know, it's just something that I can use to scroll and still absorb the content that
It
I
has a
want to
fresh
see.
feed. It's also a fresh feed. Like last year when I was still mindlessly scrolling, I would do it on the pod's Instagram because that was relatively new. It still is, but
Mhm.
like there was less like, you know, things that I don't really want to see anymore. And I know I have the power to like block them or like unfollow them or whatever, but it's not even like where it comes up. It comes like up on like the For You where you're just randomly scrolling through reels.
Interesting. Yeah. I've always been more intentional with Instagram than like TikTok. I scroll the For You page and I just enjoy the content that comes up and not the followers, the engagement that I see with people that I follow. They do have like a following page, but I don't really check that. I just check the For You and then I learn with whatever is new and coming up, and that's what I love about TikTok, and that was like really nice. And Instagram, I would always be more intentional with who I followed because I had two different accounts, one for like personal friends and family, and then one for like a public persona that I had. But now that those two are no longer active at this point in time, I look at it as like a way to reset and just focus on what's important and in front of me.
Yeah.
And I made a post like on my story for like barely 24 hours and I was just like, "Hey guys, I'm leaving. Like if you want to connect with me, like DM me for my
That's
number." And like
I saw that because I was like, I
yeah,
have
and like seven people
I
liked it
don't
and they already had my number. So I was like, it's
yeah,
fine.
exactly. But you also mentioned like, you know, resetting and all that, but like it brought a thought to my head of like, you know, in the spring we do spring cleaning. So that's
Yes.
really like for many cultures and many religions where the new year begins. In Stardew Valley, the first uh season is spring and the last is winter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mhm.
That's really special. I love that so much. Because yeah, I mean, I I have yet to I want to read my affirmation for 2026 that I wrote.
Okay.
And did I oh yes, I did put my word of the year in there as well. Um, because it's what I'm calling in to 2026. And
That's
by the
really
time
your
this
word of the
episode
year.
airs,
It's a one word, it's a word that literally describes your intention for the year. And I remember originally we had talked, you had messaged me and was like, "Hey, I don't know if I'm going to do a word of the year this year." And then you vented to me about, I don't even remember at this point what it was, but I remember saying to you, "Well, then it sounds like your word of the year isn't a word, it's a phrase, and it's be free or I'm free." And you were like, I love that. You're brilliant. I was like, I know. It's that.
That makes so much sense because what came to me during that workshop, I guess I forgot that part of the
You
conversation,
subconsciously remembered it.
but I remembered it because my word of the year that I picked is freedom. Like, no lie.
Wait, and you forgot about
I
what?
forgot about that conversation that you and I had in our DMs.
I am not offended.
So, okay, without further ado, this is what I wrote. My friend Devin, if I send you this episode, this is a shout out to you. Focus to Flow. And we can tag her in the description. She's incredible. I've done many of her affirmations workshops at this point in person, and they've been such beautiful, perfect time moments for me. So yeah, here we go. In 2026, I choose to embody freedom in my life. I choose to release any lingering limiting beliefs from years past and make space for new empowering beliefs to truly anchor in my being. I weave structure into my day-to-day, and my happiness will always be put first. It's just what I want to call in. It's so simple.
That's so much. That's so nice.
Thank you.
I love that. That's so beautiful. The one other thing that I added to my practice this year, my friend that I do my grateful list with suggested this. She was like, hey, thank you for reminding me to do word of the year. But I am planning on doing this, and we are really good about sharing ideas when it comes to our healing journeys with each other. But I'm going to write myself a letter on New Year's Eve to my 2026 self. And I'm going to write about like what was hard in 2025, what I'm going to do to like, improve myself, like goals for this year and all of that. And then I'm going to open it up on New Year's Eve in 2026. And I was like, I love that. That is brilliant. I'm doing this. And I wrote it. It's sitting on my altar. And I don't know if I'm going to read it on New Year's Eve or if I'm going to read it next spring. Because I literally put do not open until December 31st, 2026. And like, I remember telling my husband about this. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to open it till 2026. He goes, so you're going to open it at midnight? I'm like, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I meant. You tell me I take things literally.
That's so nice though. I mean, I feel like this year, it just has a different energy, this year of the horse versus last year, the year of the snake. Like, I feel like,
sorry, that was very aggressive, but like the year of the snake was like shedding, and I think this year's the year of the horse, and I was just like, this is so beautiful. And something else that I do when I'm thinking about my word of the year is I use numerology. So I take the year and I add it together till it gets to a single number. And 2026, if you add all those numbers up, you get 6 plus 2 is 8 plus 2 more is 10, and then you add the 1 and the 0 together and you get 1. And I was like, okay, cool. But then I also looked up the last time the numerology was 9, and the last time the numerology was 9 was in 2016. And I was like, that's the year I left my situationship. What? That's insane.
Wow. We're like completing a cycle from 10 years ago. Like, because 2016 for me was my last year of college. I graduated. It was the year
I applied for grad school.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I got into a car accident that year. I left my situationship. This isn't in order of what happened. I applied for grad school and got accepted literally like the same day. I thought I was like the coolest person on the face of the planet. Like, I applied and I got in on the same day. Like, I finished the application in the morning, went into work, got out, and noticed that I already had an acceptance letter. And I was like, what? Cool. Like, I don't know how long it actually takes, but I just thought it was really cool that I got accepted like that. And I still talk to the guy that like recruited me for it. Like, he's great. It was fun. I used to call him like, like Godfather. I called him Gradfather. And he was like, I love this nickname. Thank you. I'm like, you're welcome. I got you.
Aw, that's so great. Yeah. That was the last year, 2016. because I graduated a semester early, January 2017. I was already done, and by March of 2017, I got my first job and moved to Rhode Island and had an amazing couple of years there. And that was also where I did a lot of my healing. But when I was, because my husband didn't move in right away, or my then fiance, but
Could you be potato? I refer to
the same person.
my husband. I refer to him also as my partner, because at the end of the day, he's like my partner. Like, he's my partner in life, my best friend.
Beautiful. I love
He's
that.
literally in the kitchen right now, like doing random poses, because he's like, "You're talking about me."
Aw, that's so good. Cool. I know. I can't wait for us to meet in person.
We're going to Disney. It's happening.
Yes,
It's gonna
and maybe this year, because
that would be awesome. One of my friends on her vision board, she put the castle here in Orlando, Magic Kingdom, and I messaged her, like, because she sent it to the group chat that I mentioned earlier, and then I sent it to her private. Like, I responded to her privately and I'm like, this equals that you might get to see me, and I am okay with that.
Wow. I haven't been to Disney since 2014, and that has been.
I worked for Disney in 2014. I left the company in 2018, but like, looking back on, because like you have to reflect on the past in order to learn from it. And for me, like, it's just kind of crazy to think that 2016, I used to feel like it was like one of the worst years of my life, and like, it really wasn't. It was just being dramatic. And then 2025 was also a 9-year.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah.
And so was 2016, because 6 + 1 is 8. No, 6 + 1 is 7. Plus 2 more is 9. So 9. I got this doing math on a live.
It's okay. You're good. Yeah, there's more journaling that I want to do in this.
I'm being more intentional this year with my journaling, and I'm journaling when I ups, downs, and everything in between.
Yeah. Oh wait, I'm opening up my journal app. Okay, so there's this account on Instagram called Dreamy Moons, and she has a lot of followers and a big, online basically community and presence and everything. Yeah, I did this manifestation workbook. I didn't finish it, but I got close to just writing down what I really want to embody, and then I have to actually get into like how I'm going to do it. And then there's like a vision board collage to add images, words, like I still have to do that. Like, so I want to do that. I got this 2026 workbook of self-reflection, intention setting, creative writing. Ooh, there's a prayer in here. Okay. And then there's another one called A Hug for Your Heart, a mini self-love ebook. So we can link. I'm pretty sure she has these on her website. I don't know if that they'll expire or anything, but if we can find the links, then we'll be able to send them to everyone who clicks on our description in the episode. But yeah, all this content I want to do, because I think like you by journaling out like what you want for the year and like getting clear, like I think that'll help me make a vision board, because that's what I did last year when I did Mary's Feeling Lost guide, and then it very easily came to me like all the images I wanted to put in my vision board digitally.
Yeah.
And so that's what I hope to do this coming weekend, and we'll see what happens, because I just love this all things reset and this ability to keep moving forward, because I have so much gratitude for the past, but also I know the future is so bright, and 2026 just feels like the year that all that is
so different. Like, the energy this year just feels so different. Like, we made some like choices this year to like hopefully in the future be able to have like a better future and all of that. And like, it stinks, but at the same time, like, we're both like on the same page and on board and doing our best to like, we have a plan for the future, and we want to see it happen. So
good.
but
that's important.
I know you probably heard me laughing as you were doing your little thing. I don't know if you noticed, but Sally walked across my computer. And, like,
I kind of saw her like
and
in
I
the
was
shadow of the
how
corner
did
of my eye.
do that? Because like it made you like lighter. And I was like, what did she do? Did she turn the brightness down? And then I noticed there was something on the screen. It was like, name this part of the video. And I was like, what?
Aw. I know. I try to close because ever since I forget what episode it was, but you were talking about something pretty serious and deep, and then my cat just like walked across the laptop and like is laying behind my camera and messing with it. And I'm like, no, this can't happen again.
She doesn't
But
usually do that. Like she doesn't. But I mean, it's okay. Like I was literally thinking about this before we got on. Like, behind me looks glamorous because I always use like a fake like background. Because until we can get the room ready that I plan on using as the podcast studio, like I'm just using this because like behind me is just like my background of like my like behind me is like our TV and our living room and all that. And sometimes the couch doesn't look very presentable and all of that. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to put up a fake background because it's fun. I can change it up every time depending on like my mood or this or that.
totally. Yeah. I know. I'm like, for how much longer am I going to keep up my Christmas tree? But I call this like a winter tree. Like
It is a winter tree.
it goes through seasons.
It's got the vibe.
Yeah.
We
like
keep
we keep
our
up our winter decorations from like November. I keep them up through the winter, like November to March. So it's like by the time my birthday comes around, March 9th, like that'll probably be the last weekend that I keep these decorations up, and then away they go. And then we'll welcome in the spring equinox and have a reset, and it'll be all good.
And this episode premieres literally 2 days before it. It was so intentional. Like I remember when I had the idea and I'm like, oh my God, I have a really good idea and we need to do this. And you were like, yes. And so we figured it out. We were like, wait, is this going to work? Yes, it's going to work. And everything aligned, not only for this podcast, but for this particular episode. And I'm excited for more episodes to come.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Michelle, for this amazing conversation and for always being on the same page with me. And, to our listeners out there, thank you so much for tuning in for now 11 episodes and more. We're just so grateful, honestly, and we can't say it enough.
More exciting things to come.
Yay! 2026 is our year. Thank you for listening to this episode of All Things Mental.
Please follow us on social media at All Things Mental Podcast to let us know how this episode helped you on your healing journey.
Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts so that you don't miss an episode.
And remember,
you are not broken.
you're just becoming a more beautiful version
of your higher self.